This NFC West preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. Just in time for football season, MyBookie is offering up to $1,000 in free bets using the promo code SGP100. Up to $1,000 in bonus bets on your first deposit. Just use that promo code SGP100 to play, win, and get paid at MyBookie.ag. We're also brought to you by PlayBalto, the #1 office pool hosting site. PlayBalto is fully customizable, easy to manage, and most importantly, free. If you're running a football pool this season, make your life easy and do it on PlayBalto. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com and click the PlayBalto link to sign up today. We're also brought to you by BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets this season. Line movement history, sharp data analysis, and a powerful algorithm that rates their best bets. If you're betting serious cash, you need a serious app. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store to download BetQL and make sure to follow them on Twitter at BetQLApp. Finally, we're also brought to you by PickDraft.com. PickDraft.com is a salary cap DFS site specializing in position and team-based fantasy contests like their position draft and pick six contests. Sign up today at pickdraft.com and receive a 50% deposit bonus. Woo! Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Hola, Sean.
Hola.
Well, we're talking about the NFC West, so.
Yes, we are.
Only fitting, right?
The West Coast, throwing in some Espanol, and joining us for the NFC West preview, a man from Arizona, diehard. He was probably a fan when they were the Phoenix Cardinals, I think, at one point. Then they switched to the Arizona Cardinals. Site editor for the SportsGamblingPodcast.com, amongst other things. Ryan McKee. Ryan, what's happening?
Buenas noches, Sean.
Yes, this is
Hold
weird.
on a second. Sorry.
What happened, Ryan?
I have no idea. It just pre-roll's fine.
Okay.
I think. But we have to start again.
All right.
Sorry.
Everything else is good? Or, I mean, the pre-roll's good and just restart it.
Yeah, let me just confirm that. Or you can spend nothing and just take whatever is left for you.
What's that from? #1 office pool host. Preview, a man.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, that was weird. All three tracks just reverted to your track for some reason. Okay. We can recreate that magic.
Check.
We can recreate that magic. Okay, you're good.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking that money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer dog?
Hola, Sean.
Hola, mi amigo. Throwing out some Espanol for the NFC West preview. Joining us in studio and on the podcast, site editor for the SportsGamblingPodcast.com, amongst other things, longtime fan of the Cardinals, probably dating back to the Phoenix Cardinals.
This is true.
Ryan McKee. Ryan, what's up, man?
Buenas noches, Sean.
Oh.
Buenos noches, indeed. We are taping this at 12:30 a.m.
Oh, my God.
Pacific time, which is inconvenient for everyone.
Because we were out partying so late. Is that why, Sean?
No, I was... if you saw the final college football preview, I appeared via remote, the first time we've done it. So check out the video, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Came out pretty solid.
I did well. Other than the bottle of water I forgot was on the table on the other side of my computer monitor. I couldn't see it, but other than that, it went well.
Yeah, looked like a legit ESPN show, so check that out. You got to see the my parents' office because I was hanging out on the East Coast.
Sean
via
satellite.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you say an SGPN show?
Oh, right. Our network, the SGPN.
Why are you plugging other networks right now, Sean? You know you don't like free plugs.
No, I don't. And the former worldwide leader doesn't need any more free plugs. We need all the free plugs. Rate, review, and share on iTunes. It was fun appearing via satellite. But yeah, I was on the East Coast. Got to hang out with my dad in a family at a Green family reunion. So
Oh boy.
insane.
Did you get any dad hot takes on the upcoming NFL season?
My dad's really excited that things aren't going well in Dallas. That was his a lot of hate to see that when describing the contract, the Zeke holdout and stuff like that. Nothing other than that, nothing too crazy. And then I went to my wife, her grandparents live in Cincinnati, visited them and the aunts.
Wow.
Went out. She has a 88-year-old grandpa who took us out on a speedboat, and that was
Wait, I'm sorry. Was this Florida or where were you?
No, it was Cincinnati, Ohio. Went out on the lake. That thing really hauled ass, and you're just like, damn, this 88-year-old man is just dropping the needle. Red line. I thought he had some NOS in the tank. It really moved, and it's just you forget, like, because my grandparents haven't been around for a while. And so I haven't spent some quality time with some old people, and older people are just great for just saying whatever the fuck they want, whenever they want, just completely just like, hey man, I'll say whatever I want. We were towing the boat, which he set up himself was just like, oh man, how is he doing this? And we're towing the boat, and he's just like, cruising through the neighborhood, and you hear this big like bang, and he goes, that's the boat hitting a curb. He just keeps driving, not really shaken by it at all. The diner waitress that we went to, I would say politely not attractive at all, and
Cincinnati 6.5.
She's just a not attractive woman at all. Face, weight,
Everyone
height.
has different tastes, though, Sean. You know?
Well, I think here's the thing. Maybe a certain person maybe rates her okay on the scale because she had both a like crazy lip piercing and a crazy nose piercing, and the grandpa just says, "Wow, not doing herself any favors with that." And then he goes, "By the way, she can use all the help she can get."
So, in this
Just
short,
so great to get these hot takes.
in this
Oh,
short,
and he brought up Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, well, let me guess. Not a fan.
He's for the kneeling, it turns out.
So,
He's for his Nike contract.
I don't know. You can guess one of two takes a old guy, 88-year-old old guy from Cincinnati would have on the No, but he's not even a huge football thing. He just wanted to know if the kneeling guy. He does watch Fox News. He just wanted to know if the kneeling guy was in the league. And I explained, no, he wasn't in the league, and he nodded his approval. And then I went on
Does
to
he
say
still think that Carson Palmer plays for the Bengals?
he might. He's a big Reds fan. Kind of bummed about the Reds falling apart this season. But yeah, it was
Hasn't
good
been
times.
the same since Marge Schott left town.
Surprisingly, Cincinnati. Well, I guess it's not surprising, but they. Again, I'm not a huge baseball guy, but they also fell in love with Yasiel Puig, and they were all super bummed that they traded Yasiel Puig, and they were all hoping that he's going to come back to the Reds in free agency.
Well, he made it the most exciting games they've had, those fights he was in.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only reason to watch the Reds this year.
Sean, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why do people like cocaine?
Because it gets you amped up.
Yeah.
Makes you want to bet on games.
He's human cocaine. I mean, the
He
guy.
really
It's the only
is.
reason
It
we're
is-
able to do this podcast this late.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, you buried the lead, but
Yeah.
what a diva move! What a diva move!
Rockstar move. I had
Wow.
a 3-hour delay coming in from the beautiful city of Cincinnati, so this is why we're taping so late. And a lot of people, a lot of guys with a big Twitter following like to take it to the airlines. And I've done my battles. I've had my battles. But as a man that's matured, I realize, hey, sometimes it's not the airline's fault, and didn't freak out. Just had like 5 glasses of wine at the Denver airport.
Glasses of wine. Wow.
They're
When
only
you say
$9.
guys with big Twitter followings, were you gonna ask Christian Pina to tweet about it for
Oh.
you,
Oh
or
wow!
were you?
I was gonna
Who-
have
see,
Pina
maybe
throw
your
Southwest Air.
I
under
guess
the
your
bus.
wife. You could ask her to.
Sean
tweet it for
Sean
you.
doesn't know
Oh,
what to
man.
do right now
That
because
is-
he loves promotion of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and all properties.
SGPN company man. That's the only company.
But he also is gonna have a hard time reconciling with that amazing dig you just threw his
That
way.
was a sweet burn.
Speaking of Christian Pina, he just, as you're listening to this, it will probably be live, but he has dropped an episode with Spread Investor.
Spread Investor.
Little
love
NFL
Spread
preview. We love Spread Investor, so check that out.
Yeah, got
Sean?
sidetracked a little bit there, but we are here to talk about the NFL and the National Football League. And if you're in the Las Vegas area, Thursday, September 5th,
Okay, Sean.
Legacy Stadium, Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears. We'll be there hanging out, getting drunk, and I think currently the line over at mybookie.ag, last time I checked, sitting at a juicy 3.5 point dog for the Packers. So come hang out, and if you're planning on coming and hanging, drop us a line, podcast at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. But this podcast presented by mybookie.ag, the official sponsor of the Sports Gambling Podcast, the presenting partner of the Sports Gambling Podcast. They got it all over there. Props, parlays. I know. I hit a 5-teamer. If you listen to the last podcast, 5-team parlay, and I didn't tweet it out ahead of time, so that's on me. But again, it was just a lottery ticket because I really had no intention of winning this 5-team parlay. But if you were on our Slack channel, which you can join, slack.sportsgamblingpodcast.com, you would have seen me tweeting it out, sweating it out, and eventually yelling in my parents' office when that last leg of the 5-team preseason parlay hit. And I cashed $1,400 off of $50. Really just an awesome way to start the season. But you don't need to hit a 5-team parlay to get free cash over at mybookie.ag. You just need to deposit and get that sweet, sweet deposit bonus using that promo code SGP100, up to $1,000 in free bets, and a little bit more. The mybookie.ag super contest, only $100 to enter. You know I'm going to be in that. Kramer, I'm assuming, also.
Confirm.
First place, $100,000 guaranteed. And
I also joined today.
Oh, awesome. There you go. We're all going to be duking it out in the MyBookie. What's pretty awesome, too, is you don't need a proxy. The contest in Vegas, you need to hire a guy to go put your picks in. This you can do all online on the mobile thing, the whole nine. And no rake. There is no contest rake. Every dollar that gets entered into the prize pot for the MyBookie.ag super contest is paid out.
I'm a super contest virgin, guys.
Oh yeah,
So
it's fun
be
and it's
easy on me.
It is
5 at a time. It's tough, you know.
well, picking the 5 is interesting because I feel like for me over the years it's worked both ways. Where having to pick every game for the podcast or pick them, sometimes it works out. It's like, oh well, I didn't feel that good about the game, but I got those right, or vice versa, where it's like I have no idea on these last 3 games.
Yeah, when people hear the format where you're just picking 5, they have this weird default reaction that it's easier, when in reality I find it harder because generally when you have a strong opinion about something, it's going to steer you in the direction of selecting that game. So it skews the analytics, of course, Sean, which, by the way, real quick, Antonio Brown, and he gave a shout out to analytics on the latest Hard Knocks. And all right, we're not going to
analytics Brown.
We're not talking about analytics right now, or we're not
No.
talking about Hard Knocks right now. But holy shit, like I had a serious recognized game situation when he's sitting with this some sort of analytics sports scientist going over analytics. Antonio Brown is high as a motherfucker in that episode. There's no way that dude is not stoned. 80% of the episode he's stoned. There's no way. I'm at least 90% certain that Antonio Brown is absolutely stoned as he's staring at his own analytics. He has a guy come and present his own analytics to him.
Yeah, I don't know him well enough to know if it's just if it's drug use or mental illness. But the guy clearly has a couple wires loose.
I mean, he's had the wrong helmet for his whole
Man,
he's
career.
arguing
He's has
for
an unsafe helmet.
It's really that's going to come up in this court case again. The NFL at some point will be like, "Listen, the players argued for shittier helmets. What were we to do?"
This should make you like him more now, right, Sean? Which, by the way, a couple of the latest best ball drafts I've started. pick 4, pick 5 in the 3rd round, I was able to get Antonio Brown, which
I've been.
I'm with you, dumpster fire. But there's also this element where, yes, maybe I'm buying into the hype. Yeah, maybe I have some shares of Darren Waller now. If you watch the episode, you'll understand that.
Oh yeah,
but
Gruden loves him some Waller.
I'm a little annoyed. I was high on the hype there before. I'm a hipster when it comes to Darren Waller before the episode highlighted him. But yeah, no, it does make me wonder. Like, could this offense at least be interesting? Because I think the defense might still be dog shit. So could this offense actually be productive, especially from a fantasy perspective? So anyway,
Oh, definitely.
PPR,
When you have
yeah.
Derek Carr as the person driving the offense, you definitely are gonna have an interesting offense.
again, we're not talking about Hard Knocks, but god damn it, dude! Like, find some fucking sleeves. Find some fucking sleeves. It's
He's going out of his way to roll up these just muscleless arms.
maybe I will.
I loved it. Like,
you kind of like his arms.
It wasn't this last episode, but the episode before when that white rookie wide receiver at the end of the episode ripped on him. When he was talking about,
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, he's letting little white rookie wide
Yeah.
receivers rip on him, and he's cool with it. That tells you all you need to know about your quarterback.
I mean, literally, Hunter Renfrow is just Sean's like immaculate. Like, oh my god, I can make it. I still have a chance.
They always have to have some like super white country guy that plays a skill position for some reason, whether it's Cole Beasley or someone that's like, hey, but it kind of reminds
Dude,
me
he
of
looks way older than he is. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of parallels to Sean Green.
who's the receiver in Varsity Blues? Kind of reminds me of
Tweeter.
Tweeter. It's a little Tweeter and Hunter Renfrow.
Oh god damn it! All right.
We are here to talk about the NFC West. Arizona Cardinals, first team we're going to be breaking down. And McKee's rocking his sweet. Kyler Murray. Look at He does look good as a bird. I'll be honest.
He does really look good as a bird.
It's kind of
with
his
the
eyes
bandana and
somehow
his
match
fro
the
going.
Cardinal.
Yeah.
All right, let's walk through.
Have you turned the corner on Kyler as a name?
As a name? No, it's still not a real name.
Psycho Kyler.
Psycho Kyler. Right now, here, what do we got? MyBookie.ag is the win total set at 5, over -135, under +105, plus 2,000 to win the division, plus 5,500 to win the conference, a whopping plus 17500 to win the Super Bowl. That's 175 to 1. Veteran ads. We don't have to do all these, but Brett Hundley, interesting. Charles Clay. Marcus Gilbert, who's some
I'm always intrigued.
Terrell McClain, defensive tackle. Terrell Suggs, Jordan Hicks, Robert Alford on the defensive side, cornerback. Draft picks, they got Kyler Murray.
I mean,
Byron-
the biggest ad, Mr. Kingsbury.
Oh, yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. He's got to be – he's not a veteran addition, but maybe he's a draft pick.
Once hung out with Ryan McVay at a bar.
Oh, yeah, knows
So-
McVay well. Who else did they draft? Andy Isabella, receiver, defensive end, defensive tackle, Zach Allen. Off-season losses. For some reason, Mike Glennon's on here.
Oh, Jesus.
Mike Iopati, which could, the offensive line, that's going to be a big storyline here.
Yeah.
Josh Bynes.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah, Josh Rosen, the chosen Rosen.
That didn't go well.
Trey
Did
Balston.
not go well at all. Went much different than I expected as a
Here-
fan of the Cardinals.
Yeah, here are my big picture thoughts on the Cardinals. It's crazy to move on from Josh Rosen so fast, but I guess I see.
You're living in the past, man. That's already he's gone. He's gone.
I guess I kind of see why you do it. To me, again, Kyler's still not a real name. He needs to wear the visor at all times. That visor makes him mysterious. It gives him a badass attitude.
Definitely. Are you talking about the red visor? He's got
Either the red one or the dark black one. Because I think Vic really found himself when he came back with the Eagles when he started rocking the visor. It's a badass look for a scrambling quarterback. I don't know why. I think it just if you're a quarterback too and people are trying to read your eyes, why does every quarterback not have a visor? I don't get it. Couple things, big points. Cliff Kingsbury. Still, I can't wrap my head around how you get fired from one job and you end up getting a much, much better job. That to me is
You work in Hollywood. You should know exactly how that works.
You're right. That is probably the only
We've
industry
seen people fail upwards for a decade.
That's the only industry where it could kind of compare, where you get fired and then somehow you're just like, oh yeah, all of a sudden I'm executive producer on the show. It's like you were a PA and a really bad PA who got beat. You had a losing record as a PA, and somehow now you're executive producer of an NFL documentary. It makes no sense.
That's why you gotta be nice to everyone, man.
Yeah, on your way up
It's so
and your
true.
way down. Patrick Peterson, tons of questions on the defensive side. Patrick Peterson suspended for the first 6 games.
6 games, yep.
For a PED.
They have no starting cornerbacks right now.
No starting
Their
cornerbacks.
starting cornerback was hurt.
Hicks and Suggs, I like both those guys. But the problem is Suggs is 37. He's kind of coming back just for like, hey, I'm from Arizona. I want to play for my hometown area for a little while. Feels like a bit of a payday opportunity for Terrell Suggs possibly. Or
No.
I'd still rather have him there than other options.
I actually really like that. I really like the idea of bringing in the ugliest man in the NFL.
It gives them a little
Absolutely,
attitude.
yeah.
And Jordan Hicks, I loved him as an Eagle. The guy made a shitload of plays, including a return for a touchdown against the Cowboys. His thing was just staying healthy. And a 37-year-old Suggs, possibly similar issues. So that's something to be worried about. Regarding their offensive line, both centers that they have kind of competing for the center job, coming off torn ACLs. That's not ideal. And then Kyler so far in preseason,
Tremendous.
he had one game where he looked sharp, the other not as much.
We can't-
It's going to be a bit of a growing
All right,
process.
we can't totally judge him on that. Let's see the third preseason game first, where they're actually gonna game plan for.
I do, and if you're talking about betting preseason, this is insane. The Cardinals are a +7 against the Vikings. +7, a 7-point line in preseason, and McKee nailed it. They said they're going to try and game plan this like it's an actual game, so he gets used to the plays. There's an issue where he was clapping his hand and he was getting called for a false start, which again, it kind of seemed like he was getting thrown under the bus there a little bit, because some quarterbacks, they don't seem to call that. It's kind of a weird rule. Then he had that
always call bullshit like this at the beginning of the season,
Yeah,
just to like try
that
to
is the
set
preseason.
a tone. Like
We're not
we
gonna
see this
allow
every
any
year,
clapping.
yeah, and then you don't see it all the rest of the year.
So, to me, I think the highlight of the Arizona Cardinals, if you're a Cardinals fan, is they're gonna be fun at times to watch an offense.
I might be the only Arizona Cardinals fan listening to this right now.
and they're gonna be fun on offense to watch at times. But I'm just worried about the sustainability and the defensive side of the ball. Although I think the plus side, if you're trying to talk yourself into the Cardinals, is Vance Joseph, probably one of those guys who's a good coordinator, not good head coach.
So the Football Outsiders chapter had an interesting kind of segment on the Arizona Cardinals that essentially said, blah, 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 we're doing all this change, air raid maybe, who knows, but what you can do for a quarterback is a couple things, right? You can block. What did they have? 29th. They gave it the 29th pressure rate in the NFL. Not good. What else? You can get separation. Their receivers averaged 2.7 yards or less per target, which was none of their receivers ranked in the top 80 of qualifying receivers for separation. You can catch the ball. They had the seventh highest drop rate, 8.1%. And then lastly, you can do something after the catch, where they were 4.4 yards after the catch, which is second worst in the NFL last year. So a lot of bad, and certainly some of these areas you would expect have to improve a little bit, but separation is not something. Yes, air raid
had a
air raid
horrible
can scheme that.
They had
Sure.
a horrible scheme last year.
But it also
And Christian Kirk can definitely get separation. He's way faster.
like him in
than-
fantasy, for the record. I do like that. And I will say this. I was buying into like at a minimum, this offense will be interesting in fantasy. I do worry. I mean, I will say,
as a guy who witnessed Chip Kelly, what can happen is you have this fast-paced style, spread them out, air raid kind of offense again, with a rookie quarterback running it, where you have to make the reads a lot of times at the line of scrimmage. And then what could happen is you can get a bunch of quick 3-and-outs, and if you don't have the defense to support it, what I worry about is the time of possession. So if you're losing the time of possession with this Arizona Cardinals team, it's not going to be pretty.
It's not. But as you saw with Chip Kelly, it took a while for defenses to catch up to them.
That's the other thing. I do think
they're going to start off hotter than people think, I believe.
There could be a window early where teams are trying to wrap their head around the Cliff Kingsbury offense and possibly what they're going to do with David Johnson, where, they're spinning their wheels. It takes a little bit to figure out. What else are we missing, McKee, about this Cardinals team or the season?
Their heart.
A lot of heart.
I don't know. I mean, I think you guys you've covered a lot of it. I mean,
I'll say this too. The stadium is a fun hang. It's not not an intimidating place to play, but it's like a fun hang.
You know what? They have a lot better home record than people think. Dude.
Yeah,
they have a good home.
Dude, she's got a great personality. Here's what
I had season tickets for a lot of years.
See red.
I mean, look, this team.
I feel like anything I say is just gonna come across as completely
biased.
No,
give it. But that's why you're here. Give us the homer take that we're missing, of why. What are the optimistic takes that we're possibly missing on the Cardinals?
People don't tune in for Sean's objective take on the Philadelphia Eagles, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Exactly.
Well, all right. I mean, you cover it. The defense. A lot of questions there. Offensive line, a lot of questions there. But I do feel like Kingsbury is the person to get Kyler Murray going, get David Johnson going. And we saw how good he can be 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He can easily be, not maybe easily, but there's a good chance he could be 1,000 guy. He's not going nearly high enough in fantasy football drafts I've seen.
Well, especially PPR. If you're running that Kingsbury offense and you have possible issues with the offensive line, like, you got to get the screen game going. And David Johnson has shown he can catch the ball.
It makes everyone, I mean, not to get too much in the fantasy conversation, but it makes everyone is very draftable on this team. Even a guy like Ricky Seals-Jones, who is someone who gets called out in the chapter about how he basically had the worst or second worst tight end performance ever. But there are areas where, like, they were horrible last year from the shotgun. This year they're obviously going to be much better from the shotgun. They have Kyler Murray. He's going to be mobile. I think at a minimum,
I just feel like it's two different teams than last year.
It is, and I think the part that, yes, they are also they're switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4, right?
Yeah.
So it's been 3 defenses in 3 years, essentially.
Well, and you have a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and then you get rid of to bring in a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback.
And what did we find out from mentor of Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Leach, guest on the Sports Gambling Podcast? He was concerned about the defense.
Mike Leach, good friend of Cliff Kingsbury. A guy who's employed Cliff Kingsbury is worried about their defense.
I mean, we could be worried about this, but they really, I feel like they're at least scheming for the personnel they have on the defense.
Yeah,
now. Wilkes came in last year and was like, no, we're only going to do my defense. I don't care who we have. Yeah. We're going to just do this. At least now that's, paying a little more attention to what the guys want.
And look, it's going to come down to the offensive line, like many teams, especially young teams.
All right, Kramer, let's walk through the schedule.
Yes, sir. Arizona, and this is where it does get interesting. While they have a fairly difficult schedule, I think Football Outsiders have it as the 7th hardest schedule. They do start out with some home games. Detroit, which, Sean, I don't want to tease ahead to our Week 1 show.
Yeah, don't do it.
I may have already laid the points with Detroit here.
Well, this is a dangerous proposition because you're taking Matt Patricia and Matt Stafford on the road as road favorites.
I mean, no offense, McKee, but at this point, I'm gonna fade. I'm gonna fade Kingsbury until
I
see him do
Why
something.
would I take offense to you taking the Lions at Arizona?
No, I mean the offense was like.
I mean, sad Matt Stafford. You're taking him.
I know it's sad. That's why I say no offense. Detroit at home, at Baltimore, Carolina at home, Seattle at home. So they do start with 3 home games there against some teams that may not always travel so well. I think they get off
3-1.
Yes. Let me put that down.
I'm telling you, they start off hot.
No, you're right.
They're really being
There's
overlooked.
if there's any
Is Cliff Kingsbury the next Sean McVay? Next.
Okay.
God damn it. You know what? I'll say 2-2. I think they No, they can't win. 1-3, right?
Who do you have them meeting?
They'll beat Seattle or something. They could beat Carolina.
They could definitely beat Carolina. Jeez.
You're here. You have this nice T-shirt. I want to be optimistic.
You already have them losing to the Lions.
I definitely don't like them against Week 1 against the Lions.
All right, I'll say 2-2, but it gets rough after that.
Yeah, I'll go 2-2 as well. We'll be nice. Next 4 at Cincinnati, Atlanta, at New York Giants, at New Orleans. All right, maybe some winnable road games.
They'll beat the Giants.
1-3, they'll beat the Giants.
Here's my concern, Sean. I was thinking about this. Kingsbury has I think for every part that he has that good-looking Sean McVay bone in his body, he may be a young Shinebox.
Oh,
he's got a little Jason Garrett.
Go home and get your fucking shine box.
Concerned about that a little bit.
He's like Sean.
You're just basing that on his looks.
Yeah, I do a lot of things based on looks.
All right.
The K metric. Everyone. Quick sidebar. All these people getting hyped up about Josh Allen. Calm the fuck down. We've seen his eyes. They're too close together. I'm gonna go 1-3 as well, Sean.
Sam Darnold. I'm gonna go on record. Sam Darnold's gonna be the second-year quarterback who has a big year.
Look at you. Wait,
not Josh Allen.
What are you doing?
I'll go
with
2-2.
2-2.
Okay.
I like it. Still have that winning record.
That's right.
Next 4: San Francisco, at Tampa, at San Francisco. Bye week. Rams at home. Ooh. They split with San Francisco.
Yeah. I got 1-3 there.
I think they can.
But it's just kind of based on them not winning some games.
I'll go 1-3 as well.
You know what? I'll be rational and go 1-3 as well. At this point, they're gonna have defenses are scheming better for them. They're gonna start slowing down.
Kyler hits the rookie
They probably lost most of their offensive line to injury at this point.
Jordan Hicks out with a hamstring.
Kyler hitting the rookie wall might just be some defensive lineman putting him in like Aaron Donald putting him in a body bag. Oh my God,
yeah.
Last 4: Pittsburgh at home, Cleveland at home, at Seattle, at Rams. That is a tough way to end the season. You know, Cleveland could be an absolute dumpster fire at this point. Fucking punk-ass Baker Mayfield calling out unassuming Daniel Jones. I don't know what that's about. Just growing that chip.
And then Daniel Jones is like, well, I think he throws the ball good. What a pussy.
Dude, have you seen the video of him basically mimicking Eli? Like they're walking into the stadium.
Dude,
Eli shakes the hand
weird.
of the security guard, and then I'm gonna finish up 1-3 here.
He really sidebar Kramer. He really looks like our mutual friend Will. There's many a Daniel Jones photo. If anyone really wants to know what he looks like, I'll send you the photo of my friend.
We should just put that on the website or on the Slack channel.
I'm sure
we'll get that going. That's a good. You know what? That'll be Slack only. So sign up slack.sportsgamblingpodcast.com.
Hot or not.
Yeah.
Inside 1-3 for me, Sean.
Yeah, 1-3.
I'm gonna go 2-2. I think there's a good chance the Browns are a dumpster fire by that point, and the Rams could be sitting everybody by that point in the season.
Oh, I did not think about that.
Yeah, still might be tough. Might be tough to beat those backups.
Might be tough.
That Steelers game though, that's gonna feel like a road game for the Cardinals.
Sean, we ended up 5-11.
Okay.
Oh no, what did we do?
We're right on the number.
Well, Sean, it's a great number they've dangled. I'm not sure I can advise our clients to lay the 135 juice. That's really going to eat up your bankroll as it sits there for 17 weeks.
I'll take the plus 105 on the under. But
yeah,
I don't feel amazing about it because I do think McKee is onto something as far as them possibly starting out hot with the offense that takes a little bit to figure out.
Well, McKee's got him going 8-8.
Okay, so he's
Yeah.
well over.
Taking the over.
Ain't fucking around with that. By a mile.
Lock that up.
I'm going to use all my units on that.
Yeah, do you really like? To me, this is one of those bets where I feel like fairly early on we're gonna know
Yeah.
if it's gonna go over and under. But
We'll be sitting
Man.
over in the Westgate Football Central Week 1 NFL. Come say hi. McKee will be there, right?
I will be there.
Hanging out.
You'll see me in my Kyler Murray shirt.
nice.
While we're there, we'll possibly using that BetQL app. That's right. You heard me talking about them. Again, you can't have too many tools in your toolkit when it comes to betting. And again, get started with BetQL. BetQL already has sharp data for Week 1 NFL games. Listen, there's some sharps out there. Good time to track in, see what they're doing, see where they're laying their money. You always want to be on the opposite side of the public, so good to know that. They also have sharp data available Week 1 college football, which is happening so soon. It's insane. Week 0 is about to happen. Week 1 right around the corner. And Week 1 college football, huge lines. So huge lines means decent line movement, especially around key numbers. And they got you covered there. They stay up to date with line movement. Track lines. You can track lines leading up to kickoff. And again, let's say you don't know what the hell you're doing, like myself at times when it comes to college football. They have a powerful algorithm that provides rated best bets each week based off a detailed analysis of recent historical team trends. If you're in New York or PA, they got exclusive offers for you. But again, it's simple, it's free, it's an app. You got some shitty apps on your phone. Why not add a good one that's going to help you win some serious cash? App Store or Google Play, BetQL, and follow them on Twitter at BetQL app.
I'm sorry, Sean. I meant to read this
Yes.
from the press release when the Cardinals announced this.
Oh, yeah.
Kingsbury is friends with Rams coach Sean McVay, the 32-year-old offensive genius who has become the blueprint of many of the new coaching hires around the NFL. And McVay. And McVay.
See, the power of McVay started the.
I know, right? And McVay reached out to Kingsbury after Texas Tech let him go to see if Kingsbury wanted to join the Rams staff for the stretch run and postseason as an offensive consultant.
Oh, he's not going to join your staff. He's not going to be some offensive coordinator at USC. Like, wait, what? No, he's going to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Kramer, perfect transition point mentioning Sean McVay because we're moving over to the Los Angeles Rams. Coming off a 13-3 season, a season which saw them getting their ass kicked in the Super Bowl, a horrific Super Bowl. Their win total set at 10.5, over plus 125, under minus 155, division minus 165, conference 500, Super Bowl plus 1,400. Veteran ads for the Rams. Blake Bortles, he showed up. Clay Matthews, who is still in the league. The guy, I completely forgot Clay Matthews was in the league.
I saw him for a brief second in Hard Knocks, too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey, holy
walked
shit,
across
Clay
the screen.
Matthews. Completely forgot about him. Eric Weddle, which is probably a pretty solid signing. Who they draft? Taylor Rapp, Darrell Henderson, who could running back, could be an interesting fantasy play. Cornerback David Long. Offseason losses, C.J. Anderson. Which I don't know if they lost him to his battle with diabetes. I don't know where he ended up. But some key losses on the line. Roger Saffold, John Sullivan up on the offensive line, and Dominican Sue, defensive tackle. Dominic Easley, who was pretty solid. So let's take a look at the Rams here. First off, you know what I'm going to talk about. Sean McVay. He is not a better coach than Doug Peterson by no metric. Possibly regular season winning percentage. But other than that.
Do we have this as a drop yet? Do we need.
I just want to reiterate, he is not a better coach than Doug P. He's 0-2 against Doug Peterson, and Doug Peterson beat the Patriots. He lost to the Patriots. So it's fine for you to say Sean McVay is a good coach. I'm not opposed to that. I just think you can't rate him higher than Doug Peterson. You lose. You're discrediting the idea of power rankings if you have Sean McVay higher than Doug Peterson. But Sean McVay, he got engaged. And as a guy who went through planning a wedding and actually getting married during the season, it is a nightmare, Sean McVay. It is a nightmare that's going to throw you off your game like you wouldn't believe. You're going to be sitting there trying to scheme up for a game, and the fiance will come in. I'm overwhelmed. The wedding planner isn't responding to my texts. What do you think of these floral arrangements? And Sean will look up and be like, I don't know. Ask Wade Phillips. I just handle the offense. She's like, no, you need to have an opinion. And then you have an opinion, and it's either not the right opinion or you don't want to give an opinion because it's the wrong opinion. You are walking into a hornet's nest, Sean McVay.
Is that why you didn't win $200,000 last year in DraftKings, because you were dealing with that?
I don't want to blame it all on my wife and the wedding, but yeah, that did affect my week 1 lineups. Your head is elsewhere. It can't not be.
Yeah, let's get in the time machine. What, Sean? You're getting married during football season? What the fuck?
Again, you get.
I almost didn't go to the wedding.
The wedding fever, the tornado of wedding activity sucks you up, it throws you off your game. They had some losses out the offensive line. Whitworth, he's turning 38. Cooper Kupp is back, which that seemed to be that'll be a serious plus for the Rams. But let's talk about Todd Gurley. What's up with Todd Gurley's knees, man? And I know they say like the tendonitis is something he's always been dealing with, but it really became obvious that like after that bye week and kind of those last couple of games and then into the playoffs, Todd Gurley was not the same guy. 236 yards his last 5 games of the season. That's 47.2 yards per game. The previous 12 games, 11,175, 97.9 yards per game. Like, and just visually watching the guy, he doesn't pass the eye test. If you're planning on drafting Todd Gurley, good luck, because I don't trust Todd Gurley as far as I can throw him.
Wow.
I can probably throw him like 15 yards because I'm a great athlete, but
I would set the over under on how far you could throw Todd Gurley to about. I'd go as far as 30 inches. Maybe if you're wearing one of those back belts. I'll say this. Todd Gurley, as I predicted on our fantasy show, I think Todd Gurley, by the time most people are drafting into the season, he's going to be a late first-round pick because more and more people are reading the narrative. Sure, they'll manage his workload. They'll cut out 25, 30% of that workload, and he would still be the number 3 fantasy running back.
No way.
If you took away 25% of his production from last year, he would have been the number 3 fantasy running back. So
he's going to be down 40%.
Oh.
Dude, I mean...
Hold on, let me get my fucking abacus over here.
He's averaging 50 yards a game running the ball. Just watch that guy.
I think
he was in the fucking Super Bowl, not hitting the hole.
I mean,
if you don't get up for that game, whatever shots they can't give you, I mean, every drug you want is available to put in that knee, and they even rested him before they went in the playoffs.
And
the dude's
totally
just
his
not right.
fault. He didn't have Doug Peterson as his coach.
Exactly.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
He can't ski.
To
Well,
motivate him.
I mean, the boy genius just got taken behind the woodshed, and
are we worried about that?
I have the Rams come out and said he just will physically never be the same.
yeah,
they've already said that.
They literally went out and said, "Have you ever heard a team say physically this guy?" That's our franchise guy that we paid a shitload of money to is not going to be the same guy. That'd be like if the Giants said Eli Manning's not going to be the same guy. No, teams live in denial when they're paying these guys this much money. Even Jerry Jones won't say Zeke's not going to be the same guy.
Now, I think I'm going to surprise you with how I feel about this team, but I think we need to not skirt past the fact that Blake Bortles is now a member of the Los Angeles Rams. Will this
Blake
generate?
You missed him in the key additions.
No, he called it out.
He did?
Will this be a quarterback?
I missed him.
Not because Blake Bortles is going to press Jared Goff for playing time, but he's way fucking cooler. He is way like that dude is just drip.
He is. If there was ever a city where Blake Bortles would fit in, it's Los Angeles. He's got a place down in like Orange County, very just accepting of his jet ski lifestyle.
Is there a better role than backup quarterback in Los Angeles?
No,
for him?
no.
I mean, this is probably the perfect.
This
is what he was dreaming of. He didn't want to be drafted number 3 overall. This
is all part of the plan. He's getting paid. He's living the lifestyle. It's probably a little harder to have a jet ski out here. It's a little further to bodies of
Not
water.
as many docks. I feel like as a fellow guy who dips in Los Angeles and there's a limited supply, a lot of times it's dried out. I feel like I should reach out to Blake and try and explain him some possible good spots you want to hit up. Maybe try and sell him on Snooze.
We could get him on the show.
Yeah, that will be the goal. That's the new goal of the podcast. We got Mike Leach on. We got Lenny Dykstra. Let's get Blake Bortles on the show. On the other side of the ball, the talent seems like it's kind of fallen off a little bit, but I'm still kind of riding with Wade Phillips. And when you have a pretty solid offense on the other end, they should be good. But I do feel like this is a regression year for the Rams because to me last year they felt their window. It's like we got to the playoffs, we got a couple big name free agents, we got some older guys. To me last year it felt like they went all in, and they crapped out, against the Patriots in that Super Bowl. Like they still got some chips hanging around, and they could go on a little run. But if you're penciling them in for the Super Bowl, I don't see that.
Offensive DVOA with Cooper Kupp, 39.1%. Without Cooper Kupp, 10.9%.
That's a big drop off.
It's a massive drop off.
It's crazy. And
he's just gonna be fine.
And maybe I'm wrong about the Gurley injury, and maybe it just was the Kupp thing that exposed their offense. But it seemed like
he didn't look the same.
He just didn't look the
pass the eye
same.
test.
And then that combination with, I think there was a little bit of the league figuring him out a little bit. I don't know. I see why you would like the Rams, and they should have a winning record, but 10.5, if that's their win total, that is
I don't
high.
like it.
That is high. They to me feel like more like a 9-7 team. Kramer, do you have any big takeaways here on the old Rams?
Oh, well, the big takeaway is very much that this is a team that you're looking at potential regression.
Yeah, right? Don't they have regression written all over?
On top of like just straight old school looking at their pie tag from last year, they were an 11-win team, yet they won 13. What does that tell you? They were 2 games on the fortunate side. Add in a whole bunch of other stuff, which is perhaps the Super Bowl showed people something about what you can do with McVay. Perhaps this is more of a flash in the pan than we want to think. Perhaps it is driven by Gurley, and Gurley isn't going to be the same guy. I still like their wide receivers. I'm still not. I get why people are like, Jared Goff is a nice fantasy piece this year because he's going to be part of a good offense. But, let's not forget, this is Jared Goff.
He's a nice fantasy piece where you get him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like, as far as sure, maybe regular season he's putting up stats, but it's still Jared Goff. And if this offense at all takes a step back from being innovative and kind of just doing things that people aren't ready for, to Sean's point, I think my hot take this year on this Rams team, and I wish they had a slightly harder schedule, is that I think we're going to see a situation where one of those teams we don't see make the playoffs this year might be this Rams team. Super Bowl hangover.
Oh, hot.
Fairly thin. They kind of have made they've pushed their chips in a couple times in certain positions. I like
they spent a ton of money, and this is without Goff getting paid. Maybe they're waiting for Dak to get paid. They got to pay Goff as well.
This is where we talk about like guys 39 through 53 on the roster. Are they going to have the depth to sustain injury? I see that they, at running back, sure, they've bought some nice insurance policies, but across the board everywhere else, it's going to be really interesting. And to think we're a blown block away from seeing Blake Bortles as a starting quarterback in the NFL again.
A man can dream.
A man can dream. Sean, should we walk through the schedule?
Real quick, listener question at TPet76. One of his questions is, are we fading the Super Bowl losers in week 1 as they fly to the East Coast for the early morning kick against the Panthers? That spread is Carolina +3. And interesting little nugget, Super Bowl losers 3-16 ATS since 2000. And I think spread investor had the Panthers 10-5. ATS's dogs.
I absolutely
15.
love that spot for the Panthers.
I
So-
really hate the Panthers.
First four so they travel to Carolina.
Okay.
They have New Orleans at home. They go to Cleveland and they catch Tampa at home.
Shit.
Might be 1-3.
Wow. See, I thought I was gonna make a bold statement and say they're going one. Look, Drew Brees away from the dome is dreadful at this point.
Well, and Saints again. I think in September in the first 2 games they're like 2-13 ATS. Like
So-
they start off really slow.
I think the Rams. I'm gonna go 2-2 here.
Yeah, I'll go 2-2 because the Bucks are scrappy. At Cleveland's going to be tough.
Why are we so high on the Bucks, Sean? What are we doing to ourselves? Bucks and come on.
Because Bruce Arians.
Arians.
I love Bruce Arians. He's
I'm
got
with
that
you.
sweet.
But we
hat.
should like Freddie Kitchens then. I don't know. I'm
No, but the Browns. Let the public have the Browns. Us sharps here on our BetQL apps know better than to just.
Yeah, see, I think they I think they probably win games 2 and 3, and then I think Tampa shocks them. I'm drinking that Kool-Aid.
I'm going 2-2.
So you're going 1 and 3, McKee. At Seattle, San Francisco at home, at Atlanta, and then they go to to London to play the Bengals.
They're definitely beating the Bengals.
Yeah.
They could go down to Australia and beat that Bengals.
They should. But that's
I'll
a
go-
McVay disciple. You never know.
Zach Taylor.
The book's out.
I'm slightly higher on the Bengals than most. That's going to be a tough game.
Best case, they're going
Because
2
you just
and
came
2
from
here.
Cincinnati.
They're not
Yeah.
Seattle.
I think I'm pretty sure I was on the over there with the Bengals. But I'll go 3-1 here for the Rams.
Wow, Seattle. I don't.
No, I'll go 2-2.
I'm going
yeah.
2 and 2.
I was going to say 2-2. Yeah.
They don't win either one of those road games. Both tough spots to
They're
play.
a quietly old team.
They head
too.
into their bye week.
Old guys don't like trips to London. From the West Coast, that's a tough spot.
Clay Matthews would definitely be injured by then. He's not going to be traveling with him by that
Yeah,
point.
his back and spine are not going to do well on an 18-hour flight to London.
He just came out to L.A. to get more commercial work. Let's be honest.
Well,
That
he's-
hair will get you.
He's
get some acting gigs.
He's closing the loop on some old college pussy.
That is the most corporate way you've ever discussed getting laid. Closing the loop on getting some. It's not like some task he's been
man.
assigned in base camp that he's got to check off.
Crawled
right.
out of Mad Men right
He's
now.
falling in love with certain women.
I apologize.
Closing the loop.
At Pittsburgh.
Let's get a scrum going about our Q4 goals.
OKR, Sean. OKRs. At Pittsburgh, Chicago at home, Baltimore at home, at Arizona. Oof. That one tough road game in there.
2-2.
Who beats? Yeah, you know what?
I think I could see them
Baltimore.
losing to Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, right?
They're gonna
Yeah.
lose. They're gonna
That's
lose.
a tough spot.
That's
Bears at home. That'll feel like a road game for them.
So I'm going 2 and 2. Sean.
I mean, even Ravens fans might show up.
I would say 2-2.
Cardinals are, it's a fun hang.
Sean, you in for 2 and 2?
By that
2-2.
time, the Cardinals have fallen
It's a
off.
fun
I'll
hang.
even
That's
say
my
that.
new take on the Cardinals. It's a fun hang.
Yeah, they love to smoke weed. It's great. You can watch Office. Seattle at home, at Dallas, at San Francisco, Arizona at home.
I'll say 3-1, but they could go
See,
4-0.
Seattle, Pete Carroll. I feel like he's been getting worked. Yeah, I'm going 2 and 2 one more time. I don't want to my hot take isn't that they're going to be a losing record, but I got them going 800, Sean.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got them 2-2.
So you got them. You got them 7 and 9.
That sounds right to me.
7 and 9. Sean, what'd you have them for that last section? 2 and 2,
Yeah. So I got them going. Or no,
8-8.
3-1.
3 and 1. So you got them 9 and 7.
So we all have the Rams going under.
We can confidently say that. Is that a lot, guys?
I think the number is a bit like if you just play the game of look at the top teams from a overperforming, underperforming, apply that to I want to attack the edges of the graph here and go after the highest and lowest win totals. I think the Rams they're the cross section of that. I absolutely think I would recommend to my clients to play this under with that juice. I think it's still probably the play.
Yeah, I'll say this. Of these, my stronger takes in the division are on these upcoming next two teams. Ooh, just mentioned BetQL. I know what you're thinking. Oh, wow, got my app, I'm ready to go, got my gambling juices flowing. I gotta get more action. I gotta get involved in more stuff, right? I'm betting against the spread. That's always fun, but it's always fun when the bets get a little personal, right? When you start running that office football pool, you know what I'm talking about. You, a couple guys at the office, or whatever, the job site. Maybe you're a freelancer. You work at one of those co-op workspaces. No one knows what I'm talking about. But if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably the guy of your friend group that is in charge of running the pool, okay? You're the guy, you know the most about gambling. You're always listening to those dumb gambling podcasts. That's what your loser friends will tell you. But you got to stay on top of this stuff. And if you're going to be the guy who's got to run the pool, you want to make your life easy. You'd rather spend your time researching games, looking up stats, trends, watching game film, listening to our podcast, whatever it is, or just thinking about football. I'd rather think about football than set up spreadsheets, worry about people paying me, tracking buy-ins. Play ball toe. That's the way you go, right? Makes your life simple and easy. You can get started on ball toe in 60 seconds or less. Pick'em, Survivor Pool, ATS, whatever style pool you're running. Play Ball Toe's got you covered. And if that wasn't enough, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com and click the Play Ball Toe link to sign up. Joe Montana, Joe Cool himself, is hosting a pick'em contest. First place gets $1,000. And if that wasn't cool, for me, that's enough. Any sort of free roll, I'm always in. Because why not? Just have the most options. He got his buddy, Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is now in the pool as well. Jerry Rice looking to score that $1,000.
Wow.
You gotta keep Jerry. You gotta take that money from Jerry and Joe. You gotta beat both of them. So there is something.
Also, SGP blog editor Ryan McKee is also in the pool.
So there's a lot.
You're
There's
going
a lot
against him. Big deal.
There's a lot of big dogs in the group. A couple guys are gonna have some busts at the end of the day. Two out of those three will definitely have one. But I mean, would be pretty awesome to beat Jerry Rice and Joe Montana in a pick'em contest.
And Ryan McKee.
I'm actually trying to get Marvin Harrison in my pick'em contest.
Oh, really? Okay.
That would feel good to beat a guy like that too.
Well, Marvin Harrison, he should be in jail. Again, feel free to Google that one. San Francisco 49ers coming off a 4-12 season. Win total set at a whopping 8 over at mybookie.ag. Over -145. Under plus 115 division. A staggering plus 375. Conference plus 1,500. Super Bowl plus 4,000. I'm going to walk through the veteran ads real quick. Tevin Coleman, Jordan Matthews, unclear if he'll make the team. Ben Garland, Wesley Johnson. D Ford, that's a legit pickup. Quan Alexander, David Mayo, Jason Barrett, cornerback. Early draft picks. Nick Bosa, Debo Samuel, Jalen Hurd. For some reason, they drafted a punter, Mitch Wisnowski. I don't know why the fuck you do that. Who'd they lose? Alfred Morris, Pierre Garçon, and some putter.
Bunch of old Redskins.
Yeah,
it's a punter that no one cares about. Here's all my San Francisco 49ers.
Wait, you forgot one key addition.
Who'd
the
I forget?
Incredibly good-looking Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo, key addition, coming off the bench. Speaking of bench, 1 for 6 for 0 yards, 1 interception, and a passer rating of 0.0. It is the preseason, but in training camp, he's even looked bad. Threw 5 picks in a row in practice.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Hey, Jimmy, he was a good boy, eh? Chowder. Their offensive line of the 49ers has looked shaky. I was on the 49ers subreddit. That's my little secret, to see what the fans are saying. And they're hoping for a trade for this offensive line. Nick Bosa. Hadn't heard much about Nick Bosa in the preseason.
No.
And in my head I go, you know what? I bet Nick Bosa's injured. I Googled Nick Bosa, high ankle sprain. Not only did he have that, he also had a hamstring in the offseason, much like Joey Bosa, made of glass, will not be playing week 1. That's my prediction. Hey, I don't know if Bosa rolled his ankle at a Trump rally, beating up some Antifa or
I'm
whatever.
going all in on Trump.
Whoa.
whatever,
Shots fired.
Whatever Nick Bosa's getting into. The guy is the Bosa family is fragile and loves sitting out of games. D Ford, he should be helpful for their pass rush, but he's banged up as well. He's got knee tendonitis, so maybe him and Gurley, God knows what happened there. 27th in efficiency, defensive passing efficiency last year. It should be a little better, but I don't know how much better. Kittle, again, my stump speech is that he's highly overrated. I'll say this, and I think there's a chance they're not a better team with Jimmy G at quarterback. And to think that just, hey, Jimmy G got hurt. He had a bunch of time to heal himself. He's coming back in, and he's going to be fine. Jimmy, who the fuck are we talking about? The guy has like 7 career starts over 4 years. Two or three were under Belichick. I could get you some wins. Jacoby Brissett looked like a first-round pick. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then he didn't look amazing those games he played. Jimmy Garoppolo is a average to below average quarterback. I know they paid him all that money, and you got to make him look good, but Nick Mullins and fucking Beathard, they ran the offense. He started 10 games as a quarterback. He went on that 5-0 run when their season was over.
But Sean, have you seen his chin? It's immaculate. I think this is the part where people want to give so much credit to the Shanahan system and everyone will be successful, but then they also want to create some sort of massive gap between these replacement level guys that Shanahan can coach up and a guy who might just be a barely above replacement level guy who shined at the right time. We have not seen yes, Garoppolo doesn't get hurt. Maybe they're better than 4-12 last year.
6-10.
But I'm not sure they're 9-7.
No.
And
I don't think the wins above replacement is 6 in a 16-game season. Like the Nick Mullins to Jimmy G gap is not – it's not
But you have to – listen, there's a coaching situation here where we know – I think most people objectively know that Shanahan knows how to coach up offense. He's gotten a lot out of really tremendously bad quarterbacks. Surprisingly efficient performances from bad quarterbacks. The 49ers were a team that you want to circle for the positive regression. They were almost 2 games unlucky last year, but still they were very bad. So if you want to walk it forward, yes, will they regress forward? I think so. I think some more of that will just be around the fact that they improved their offensive and defensive line and less about Jimmy Garoppolo's play.
Their offensive line's banged up too.
You could also say that I'm not going to go to bat for Jimmy Garoppolo, but it's another year in Shanahan's system, and we saw Matt Ryan improve each year in Shanahan's system. There's something for that too.
But you know what? John Lynch, still the GM of this team. I still don't think that's a positive thing. Perhaps part of the reason everyone's banged up. Not sure how John Lynch runs his organization. To me, I would just focus on. I think when you get these so and so is back, everything will be fine. I don't know. I don't know if Garoppolo is that much better than Nick Mullins or Beathard or whatever other jackass.
The
they
gap
rolled out
between
there.
those isn't Michael Strahan's teeth big.
I know
it's a lot closer.
Matt Ryan had pedigree. Matt Ryan was a number 3 pick. Matt Ryan played at a big time Division I program. Matt Ryan, he improved, but Matt Ryan had a prolific offense around him too. And while I do like Tevin Coleman as from a fantasy value perspective, and I think Shanahan will always have running backs that produce.
I also going to be good too.
I like Breida too. He's going very late now that we know McKinnon probably not going to be playing. Who knows? But
I think we already knew that.
We have this receiver problem where we know rookie receivers generally aren't that productive. Deebo Samuel's very intriguing. Dante Pettis, everyone's like, yeah, he's going to be the number one. In the fantasy communities, you read the beat writers, and they're like, yeah, he's still kind of competing with the rookies. That's not a good sign.
I agree that's not a good sign, but I think Pettis is I think he's better than people are giving him credit for right now. He's a great route runner. He looked towards the end of last season, he was looking really good.
I like him.
I think he can be a legit number one quarterback.
Like I said, my instincts are that this team is set up for positive regression. I just don't know if it's going to be based on Jimmy G, and I don't know if he helps.
I don't think it's enough that they're plus 1,500 to win the conference. Like people are talking about them as like in the mix to win a Super Bowl. I think that's way off.
A lot of people were predicting them to win 9-10 games last year, right?
Yeah.
So should we walk through the schedule?
Can I do a quick
Yeah.
listener question?
You can absolutely.
Oh,
do a
yeah.
listener
This
question.
is from @PennywisePicks.
Yes.
NFC West is my favorite division. If you look at my bookie, he's a company man. It's the decision with the best. It's the decision. It's the division with the best odds to win the Super Bowl at plus 475. My question, being a Niners fan, living in Arizona, that's weird. Do you see a worst to first in this division with upgrades to the Cardinals and the Niners? I mean, the second part, I'm going to say these guys are already going to say no. But what do you think about NFC West as a favorite to win the Super Bowl?
Well, that's kind of interesting because
feels light. I mean, I get it. You're betting on the Rams, but I don't think you're.
Seahawks to a point.
Maybe the Seahawks.
Well, here's
No,
what
but to answer the question directly, no, I don't think San Francisco is a fucking contender. I definitely don't think Arizona is a contender. I think Seattle, there's even question marks. I think that the hot take on this division is it's going to sink down. I think maybe it's a little closer top to bottom. We don't have a 13-win team, and maybe we don't have a 4-win team. But I think quality of play, slight step down. I'm intrigued by Seattle, but yeah, San Francisco. I like Shanahan. I get why the analytics community likes Shanahan. I think his offense can be productive. There's something off about the idea that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to step back in and this team is just going to be good.
Yeah. Well, and that plus 475, I don't like that number. Not to call
Number
out my
bad.
bookie, but just go over to that same site, my bookie, and just put $100 on the Rams and $100 at the Seahawks. Then you're sitting at plus 1,400 and plus 3,700.
Yeah.
Or even throw the 49ers in there.
No.
At plus 4,000. I don't see that at all. But even if you spent $300 on those, that's much better than putting 300 at plus 475.
The Niners. Let's go through the schedule because the Niners will be tested early, and it could start poorly for them. At Tampa, at Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, bye week, Cleveland. That's
a tough start.
Owen, all right, Cincinnati should be hot garbage. AJ Green probably not going to be playing in this game. But also, San Francisco's looked like hot garbage so far. And I think they lose that first game to Tampa for sure, which begs the question, is there really a pressure situation for this team? Because we know everyone's going to be citing, well, Bob, teams that start 0-2 generally don't make the playoffs. This is a big game for the San Francisco 49ers here in Cincinnati. I'm going to go 2-2. Do they bounce back? Or do
2-2.
I'm saying
I think the Steelers
1-3.
Steelers are always bad on the West Coast.
I'm gonna say 2-2 just because I believe in Shanahan enough to game plan for those early games.
Yeah.
Perhaps,
I'll say 2-2.
Maybe I'm lower than I should be. At Rams, at Washington, Carolina, at Arizona. Ooh, I mean, it feels
3 road games. I'm going to say 1-3. I don't think this team will travel well.
Arizona is one of those road games, Sean.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna say I think I'm going to say 1-3. I think they beat Washington.
I'm with you, and I think this is going to be a team that if they do get to that total, it's going to be a total backdoor job. Seattle, Arizona, Green Bay, at Baltimore.
2-2.
I'm going to give them 2. I'm not sure where they come from because I got to get these wins up a little bit.
2-2.
And then the last 4. At New Orleans, Atlanta, Rams, at Seattle.
0-4.
Wow.
They fall apart.
I think unless
Atlanta revenge spot again, or they got the
It just
the
feels like
Shanahan
this
revenge
team
spot.
could fall apart.
I mean, unless Seattle's sitting players at that, or
I'm going 2-2 down the stretch.
I'm gonna say 1-3.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys went all right. So I think we all ended up with the same 6-10.
Whoa.
So
And that would be an improvement.
Yeah, they can improve by 10 games.
I think this is one of those ones where we play the game where you say, with the number being 8, especially with juice at minus 145, is this team
9
more
wins.
likely to win 7 or 9? You're telling me I don't lose unless they get to 9? Give me the under, Sean.
Yeah.
I definitely take the under.
Give me that under. And man, yeah, the conference odds, like why are they getting this level of respect? Or why are they disrespecting our boy Russell Wilson?
Disrespectful to dangerous. You know what's dangerous? When you're playing fantasy football and you get vulture, you know? Oh, hey, I had Miles Sanders, but oh no, Jordan Howard scores the touchdown.
Hate that.
Enter pickdraft.com. Because pickdraft, they do DFS, they do fantasy, but you can do contests where you pick you can pick the entire position. Like you can pick Eagles running backs, so you get all the Eagles running backs. You could pick San Francisco receivers. You probably wouldn't want to pick that.
Would it allow you to take Eagles quarterbacks? Because we all know Carson Wentz will eventually leave a game and you'll need that backup.
Josh McCown. That's why you brought him in there. Veteran, class act. You got to have depth there. They also have, your classic, your individual DFS contests as well. They also got some, they have this weekly free roll contest they call Pick Draft. All you got to do is select 6 teams to win the game. You stay under the salary cap. It's kind of, again, it's DFS for teams. Again, they're bringing a little new flair, a little new spice. Much like our boy Emeril Lagasse, Pick Draft, spicing things up. Sign up this week, and you get 50% deposit bonus. It gets rolled over. $5 credit, good for any NFL or MLB contests up until the start of the NFL regular season week 1. They also got a $10 referral bonus and a week 1 NFL regular season SGP Pick Draft free roll contest. Again, go to pickdraft.com. Never get vultured again. Final team we get to talk about. The Seattle Seahawks coming off a 10-win season. 8.5 is the win total. Over minus 125, under plus 105, plus 300 to win the division. Plus 1,500 for the conference, 3,700 for the Super Bowl. Veteran ads, they picked up that Ayupati. Ezekiel Ansah, Jamar Taylor. Who'd they draft? L.J. Collier, Marquise Blair, DK Metcalf.
Have you seen the pictures of this guy? He's like a superhero.
Well, a superhero who has a rolled ankle.
Oh yeah, man. Just that picture of him standing next to Lockett, like he's just a massive human being. Have you seen? Did you see the video of Carroll taking the shirt off?
No. Oh yeah. That was pretty solid.
Pete Carroll's fucking old.
He is, but he's just
Still
he's got that
it,
Jack
man.
LaLanne energy.
I'm sorry.
Off-season losses: Dougie B, Frank Clark, Earl Thomas, which is huge, and Sebastian Janikowski.
I love it. That's a key loss.
Seabass. I mean, you can lose some games, miss a couple field goals. No. Seattle's not an easy place to kick.
Who's their kicker now?
Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson.
Pete Carroll's their kicker?
Yeah. Hey, he would be. Maybe they'll sign Carly Lloyd. She was out there kicking
the
balls.
Great line by Jason, great Monday Night Football announcer Jason Witten, when referring to Sebastian Janikowski. He's batting .400 in the knife and fork league. which is just like
Is that the only good line he had all year?
probably yes. It didn't go well for Jason Witten back on the football field. Anyway, Seattle. I mean, at this point, I have to be high on someone, right? I've done that thing where I've cornered myself into 3 unders.
Ryan, we both took all the unders so far, and McKee took 2 out of the 3 unders. The only exception being the Arizona Cardinals. But Seattle over and San Francisco under. Those are my 2 strongest opinions in this division. Carroll and Wilson, these guys just win games. Double-digit wins 6 out of the 7 season. Only once did they win only 9 games, and that was in 2017. Chris Carson, Rashard Penny, legit combo. I think this David Moore guy has talent. Matthew Berry was talking him up on his podcast, stole my David Moore, and he stole Vance McDonald. This guy is just a hack. They're going to eat up those Doug Baldwin targets. Earl Thomas, that's a pretty big hole to fill. However, Deshaun Shedd looking really good in the preseason and really kind of, by all accounts, training camp, all the beat reporters are saying what a difference he made. He had a pick 6 against the Vikings that almost cost me my huge, awesome parlay. But getting back to Earl Thomas, I do really respect Earl Thomas where he said he didn't regret giving Pete Carroll the finger. Like, I hate it when athletes apologize when they're clearly not sorry.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas is just leaning into it. He's like, oh, no, I was pissed as hell. They're missing Frank Clark. That's some sacks that are going to be tough to get. LJ Collier, first-round pick. He's got a high ankle sprain. They do have Bobby Wagner. They do have somewhat of a home field that's seemingly not as strong as it used to be. But Russell Wilson, Danger Russ, is just a guy, as simple as it gets, he's just a guy who wins games. He's a guy that's just going to get you to 9 games. T-Pet76 also had the comment, are we or are we not back in Danger Russ in his 5 primetime games this year? 2 out of the 5 primetime games are versus the Rams. He's like the opposite of Kirk Cousins, right? He's just a guy that shows up in big spots. With the exception,
I love him in those primetime games.
What's up?
I love him in those primetime games.
Oh yeah, like that's his MO. That's when he shows up. I mean, with the exception of him throwing that interception in the Super Bowl, the guy has just been severely clutch his entire career. And maybe they'll start slow, maybe they'll have some down points, but Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, that's kind of just a formula that works. And it seems like in this division in particular, there's a bunch of turnover. There's a bunch of transition, and the Seahawks are pretty stable.
Isn't it interesting how they seemingly have the same problems every year, and they don't seem to be looking to address the offensive line problem?
If I was a Seahawks fan, I would be driving myself crazy that they don't do more about the offensive line.
Look, they didn't really do much. Sure, you can argue they brought in some receiving help, but Doug Baldwin leaving is a big deal, right? Like there was a chemistry there. He was the Jordy Nelson to Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely. He doesn't have a safety valve.
Now they are talking up Tyler Lockett an awful lot. They are talking up the concept of this running game and how much they're going to hand the ball to Chris Carson, hand the ball to Rashad Penny. They're going to mix it up. They're going to
action.
They're gonna improve their offensive line play by allowing them to be hogs and maul and all this stuff. I like it. I like that they lean into their culture. I like that Carroll basically says, "Fuck it, let's hit the reset button, ship everyone out of town. We're gonna keep the one core guy and go with it." I think there is some value to that, right? Like we're gonna see it with the Giants. You get certain cancers out of the locker room, and things just get It's called, Sean.
That is a disgusting act.
They call it addition by subtraction. Look, Earl Thomas, great player, but clearly that was broken. Let's move on. As you said, Russ Wilson, or Russell as I call him, he's still Russell Wilson. He's still going to make plays. And as you noticed, I'm kind of down on everyone else in this division. Someone's got to do something, right?
Yeah.
Someone's got to make the playoffs.
What's your take on the Seahawks here?
I mean, I never thought I would be saying this, but I am actually high on them this year. I really, I like the Carson Penny like double-headed beast back there. I really have high hopes for Penny this year, especially. I could really see him.
San Diego State guy.
Yeah, I could really see him coming in and doing a lot. I like Tyler Lockett. I think he's a much different player than Baldwin, so I'm still a little worried about Russ not having his safety valve, like just guy that he trusts to be there all the time.
Yeah.
But overall, I kind of like your theory about, addition through subtraction. You have a bunch of guys that want to be there now. Like, he's not dealing with, like, the loudmouth, like, standoff for, like, once in
This is
the
a
first,
team
like,
that can
4 seasons.
Well, and also, I think especially with Carroll, former college coach.
Yeah.
And you saw it with,
That class is gone.
with Brad Stevens
Yeah.
in Boston. When the troublemakers aren't around,
Yeah.
they're really good at coaching. But when you bring back Kyrie Irving, who's a huge pain in the ass, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing, even though it seems like more talent, they're probably going to be the Celtics will probably be better by getting rid of, Kyrie Irving because it feels like a college team where it's like, hey, fall in line or get the fuck out. There's one ass I kiss. It's Russell Wilson. And I mean, you could think of a worse ass to kiss.
You could definitely think of a worse ass. I think the other thing, and you called out David Moore already, we've seen the chemistry on that ridiculous Russ throws it up, the receiver just sees the ball, not even a back shoulder. It's more like a back belly throw. What do you think they drafted DK Metcalf for? He's going to underthrow him and just let him go up and get it.
Yeah.
I think so you have Lockett to kind of stretch the middle of the field. You have these two competent kind of back shoulder receivers, and then you're just going to pound the ball. Again, my concerns lie in the offensive line. My concerns lie with the fact that at some point Russ is going to take a hit. He at this point he's wearing like a full like special forces flak jacket.
Maybe this is where he breaks, but
he just doesn't seem like he's going to break.
But every year he's able to outperform his like bad offensive line.
And he's got that sociopathic psycho to him when you see him do an
does.
interview where it's like, man, this
got a
guy's
little
hanging out with
crazy
Tom
eyes.
Cruise. Like his e-meter is through the roof. He's drinking the concussion water.
he
Sean,
has no phaetons.
should we go through
Or
the
all
schedule?
the phaetons. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, he's got that little like crazy
Yeah.
Brady thing.
He
in him
does.
Where
Yeah.
he just believes he's better than everybody.
Well,
and that
he
he just
started
keeps drinking
every
his
game in
water
the
and
NFL.
has his like diet. He's
Sean,
fine.
that game, I mean, this brings us all the way back to the early stages of the Sports Gambling Podcast, 2012. The way that season ended in January of 2013 with them taking the L to the Atlanta Falcons and the look in his face.
We were immediately knew they were destined for greatness.
I don't know if I believe we both went and wagered on them to win the Super Bowl. I think at 15-1, which they won the next year. And it was like, man, this dude he had that look. He was hungry. It was like Dexter when he hadn't murdered for a couple of weeks. He just had that look.
And 8.1 yards per attempt.
Yeah, well, here we go.
last
Sean and
year.
his numbers.
Nah, I mean, 8.1 yards per
Sean,
attempt.
People don't tune in for numbers.
Just throwing it out there.
All right, should we
Let's
run through
get
the
through the
schedule?
schedule.
A lot of talk about the NFC West. Cincinnati
On the
at home.
NFC West podcast of all places.
Cincinnati at home, at Pittsburgh, New Orleans at home, at Arizona. That Pittsburgh game, they're going to take the loss there. But I think all of these other games are very winnable.
I'll say 3-1. And they could be in the mix against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
I'd say
is
3-1.
Well, Pittsburgh's also notoriously slow.
They're not beating Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. I think.
But Pittsburgh loses games they shouldn't lose, too.
Oh, the loss I was given to the Cardinals. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I feel you there. Sleepwalking in. I'm going to go 3-1 as well. Next 3, Rams at home, at Cleveland, Baltimore at home, at Atlanta.
It's a little tougher. I'll go 2-2.
This is the game they randomly win is that 1 o'clock kick against Cleveland because Russ Wilson is not losing to that fucking piece of shit Baker Mayfield. You think Russell Wilson's losing to Baker Mayfield? No. I'm going 3-1 again. No, is that crazy? 2-2.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm gonna go 2-2, and I think that
Even that's
2-2
generous.
is generous. Yeah.
Sean, you went 2-2?
Yep.
All right, next 4, Tampa Bay at San Francisco, bye week at Philly, Minnesota at home. Again, man, I'll 2 into it.
I'll say 3-1. I think that in Philly is going to be tough,
Yeah.
as you'd imagine, or maybe they lose. Maybe they beat the Eagles and lose one of these other ones.
I was thinking 3-1 too, just because I think I've been giving Tampa Bay too much credit. Like I think they're gonna
Not
Tampa
me.
Bay is gonna fall apart on some of these.
Yeah.
Sean and I-
like the Seahawks are the exact type of team that Tampa Bay is gonna fall apart against.
Tampa Bay 15-1 to win that division. Still can't believe you can get that bet. At Rams, at Carolina, Arizona, San Francisco to close the season. I love that. That tells me that I think this team's going to be coming in hot. Potential playoff berth.
I'll say 3-1 there.
Oh my goodness, Sean, you're going to be higher. If Carolina's out of it at this point, that's an interesting spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to say 2-2. You're going to go 3-1. McKee, what are you doing?
2-2.
All
Because
right.
again, I think there might be sitting guys towards the end.
Sean, you have 11-5. I got him
Yeah.
going 9-7. McKee, you got him going 8 or 10-6. Pretty objectively, we like this over. Sean, you might as well just play that. There you go.
Yeah, let's just kick things off. My lock. Give me the Seahawks. I mean, we just walked through it. I love what they're doing. Little sprinkle on the division too, at plus 300. I mean, I'm not gonna lay money to bet the Rams at minus 165, but the Seahawks at plus 300, that feels good. And then my final play would be the under on the 49ers. That's kind of the other thing I like there.
So, Sean, I would say this. I definitely co-sign your division play for the Seahawks. I don't know if I like the over as much. If you're telling me, hey Ryan, you got to make a pick for this division, as far as a lock, it's just hard. How do I'm gonna stick to my hot take, and I think that's the Rams.
Okay.
I think that's the Rams under, and I'll go a step further. I didn't write these down on our spreadsheet, Sean, but much like I gave out that 5-1 Rams make the playoffs a couple years back.
Yep.
I think you can. I'm gonna bet Rams miss the playoffs. I'm gonna pull
Wait,
up the.
I'm a little confused here, but then didn't you say that's who you have? Oh, so you're saying that's your play for this division?
I like the
It's
Seahawks.
not to pick the division. Okay. Yeah.
I like the Seahawks plus 300 on the future more than I do liking over 8.5.
Got it.
Although you can tag me on that too. Where I think I'm coming in because I want to back my opinion here, and that's the Rams. I think the Rams go under the win total. I think the Rams miss the playoffs, and I'm gonna guess you're gonna get a nice price on that because plus 275 Rams miss the playoffs.
Wow.
Is that worth it?
What the fuck?
275. Well, I think. I mean, under.
Am I better off just betting the Seahawks to win the division at 3-1?
That to me feels more
gonna
realistic.
say, yeah.
Because Rams could easily get in and not hit their win total. Like them getting in as a wild card with 10-6 and Seahawks winning their division at 10-6 or 11-5 seems more likely than just the Rams not making the playoffs altogether. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of splitting hairs there. McKee, what are we locking? What are your best bets?
Cardinals over. Just do it. Say fuck it. Do it.
I really like. Well, let me get there. I really like the Niners under.
Ooh.
Ooh,
When
okay.
we stopped to talk about it because it was 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just feels way more likely that they're going to get to 7 than it does 9.
Yeah.
Well,
me.
and the juice right now is minus 145 on the over, so you're getting plus odds on the under. Which again, if it's close for me, I'm always gonna fade the crazy juice on those.
Yeah, I co-sign this with you. That can be my 2 plays: Rams and Niners under.
I also really like the over on the Seahawks.
Ooh, okay.
I'm with you. Might as well. I like putting a
Seahawks
little
just-
money on them to win the division.
Yeah, the Seahawks just kind of come through.
It feels odd that they're not an 8-8 team.
No.
Even they were bad last year and they were a 10
Yeah,
team.
they were great last year. I mean, they had injuries. Shit broke wrong. Russell Wilson was banged up all the time. And they still won 10 games. They still went over their win total by a game and a half.
And then circling back, I mean, we talked through how 3 of these teams or at least the 2 other teams are really going to miss the mark this year. So I feel that much more confident
All right.
taking the Cardinals over.
There you go.
There
They
we
can get
go.
to 6.
We can do it, guys. We can
Thank
absolutely
you for
get this.
participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Are you recommending that your clients take a little piece of that 175 to 1 Super Bowl action?
I am not. Let's be
There you
reasonable.
go. Bringing it back to a realistic spot. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in the podcast.
Get through it, Sean.
Rate, review, share on the old iTunes. Make sure you check out Ryan McKee on Twitter at the Ryan McKee and all his great work, editing the site, writing for the site, Sports Gambling Podcast.
Yeah, we have a lot of really good stuff on there, guys. Go at lots of futures, lots of stuff to bet, lots of free picks.
It's pretty insane.
We're giving so much of stuff away that other sites are charging for.
No, it is. I mean, these preseason week 3 DFS picks, top NFC teams against the spread.
Free UFC picks, free DFS UFC picks, free golf DFS.
It's insane. So tons of free content. Keep the free content train alive. Support the sponsors. Rate, review, and share on the iTunes. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I am Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
If I may, Sean, funniest podcast ever, 5 stars by Amazine 718. Kramer and Green are the best duo since Batman and Robin. I'm obviously Batman. They're funny as hell, and they've won me a nice bankroll last NFL season.
Kramer, let it ride.